Hey, CEM teams. As we prepare for this coming year, a question that the classroom engagement model leadership team is getting a lot is, how do I support children and families in routines? This is a really unprecedented time, and it's difficult to know what that may or may not look like. And so we're going to show you a resource that we have on our share site that might be beneficial for you as you think about what that might look like. So I am going to pull up our CEM share site, and you'll see it here. And from this main page, if you click on family engagement, it's going to bring you to a lot of resources. The one that we're going to talk about is this very first one, supporting engagement in home routines. And so we'll see there's a template here that you can use and download, and maybe you find this beneficial either in your classroom for planning for routines in your classroom, or if you're doing some type of a hybrid or virtual model and meeting with families in that regard, this could be helpful in having those conversations with families as far as how to think about routines within their home. Down below this template, I want to point out that there's some examples that we already have put together so that it might help you think about how this document could be used. So I'm going to pull up, you'll see there's 3 examples. I'm going to pull up the first one, getting dressed. And you'll see that it's already been completed. So we're going to assume that the classroom teacher is having a conversation with the caregiver about this routine, which is getting dressed. So we've identified what the routine is that the caregiver is hoping to have that child be more engaged with. And then we're going to move on and talk to them about what does your child find interesting. In this case, the child might like dolls, stuffed animals, and playing mommy. Okay, so we want to talk about getting dressed. We know what their interest areas are. And then we're going to move into a conversation, a planning conversation about what we can do during this routine. So for this example, we've identified that maybe the child could teach their stuffed animals how to get dressed, maybe offer some choices for outfits, and then talk about it and ask your child to help them choose the outfit. And then lastly, we can document what type of learning this is supporting. In this case, this might be supporting that child's self-help skills, their language development, as well as choice making. So this can kind of act as a template for having that conversation and planning with caregivers as they think about those routines. Another example you can look at are preparing for meals. So in this case, they've identified dinosaurs and cars as being interest areas. So what this group had come up with was perhaps, well, the caregiver is preparing dinner, that child could wash dinosaurs in the sink, maybe use plastic containers to create a town for cars to drive through. Maybe the dinosaur could help find the ingredients that that caregiver needs for that meal and be a helper. And then again, identifying what that learning is that's being embedded throughout that routine. Independent play and following directions. And then lastly, sibling homework is the last example that's given. So it's time for sibling to do their homework. How can we help the child be engaged while their sibling is doing that? So we identified some interest areas, and then we go into what might that look like during this routine. Perhaps they want to decorate their dogs with different wrapping paper, wrap the stuffed animal dog up, and then they can give it to the sister when she's done doing her homework. And so we could work on some independent play, directions, as well as a lot of muscle movement in wrapping the dinosaur, getting tape, and putting it together. So those are a couple of quick examples of how you might choose to use those. And again, if we go back to the page here on the CEM share site, you can get the template. I already have it opened on my computer. Otherwise, you would just click the box here to open it up. And this is something that you can print out. You could use virtually and fill in and just have this act as a guide for you. Again, if you have any suggestions or things that you think might be helpful for improvement in this, feel free to reach out to your PDF and share with them what your suggestions might be, and or you could share with the CEM state leadership team or Sally Hansen, the content lead. So if there's anything that you would find beneficial, please let us know. We want to make sure to support you in whatever way makes the most sense. So thank you, and hopefully you will be able to find this template helpful for you.